Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today we're going to do a touch her and die vibes video. So these ones are all books that have a trope where I just kicked my camera. Oh god. They're all books that have a trope where the hero is super possessive and doesn't want his heroine around other men, and he is of the aggressive type where he will cut you if you get too close to his love interest. This is one of my favorite tropes. It's one of those things that's like red flag in real life, but like gimme in a book. So I have a couple to share with you. Okay, let's go into it. So the first one that I'm going to mention is one that I read recently, and that is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is a sort of, it's not, I don't even know how to classify this, but it's kind of dark light. It's like dark romance, but like for beginners. So it has dark tropes in it, without being like overly dark. It is a brother's best friend romance and has slight, not really enemies to lovers, but they don't really get along at first. And basically the heroine's brother leaves. He leaves the country and is like, bro, I need you to watch out for my sister while I'm gone. And they end up being neighbors, and he is out of college, and he is incredibly wealthy and runs this company, and it is like, he like thrives on revenge. His family was killed when he was younger, and he, the person that he believes is to blame for the death of his family, it's his life mission to destroy that guy's life. And so that's what he does most of the day, what he spends his time doing. And he and the heroine develop a relationship, but he is, like I said, it has those dark vibes in it, so he is extremely overprotective. He is extremely alpha-y, and it definitely gave me touch her and die vibes. The next one that I'm going to talk about is Sophie Lark's Brutal Birthright series. The one that I'm specifically going to talk about is Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, but honestly, most of the Brutal Birthright series you could say has this trope, or has the vibes. But the one that I'm specifically going to talk about is Stolen Heir, which is book 2 in the series, and it is a captor-captive one. They are rivals. Miko kidnaps, he works for the Polish mafia, and he kidnaps the youngest daughter of the leader of the Irish mafia, and because he knows that the Irish mafia was responsible for killing the man who raised him, who was basically like a father to him, who was the leader of the Polish mafia, and now Miko is. And so he kidnaps their daughter, named Nessa, and he keeps her locked in his mansion away from everyone. It's a sort of like Beauty and the Beast retelling. He is very alpha, very aggressive. I mean, he's Polish mafia, and he is very willing to kill people. And Nessa is a dancer. She's very sweet, innocent. She is very sheltered by her family, so they are very different, but Beauty and the Beast vibes. So they end up falling in love, but Miko is a very aggressive man and very willing to kill people, and when he falls in love with Nessa, he is overprotective to the extreme and does not want her touched near talked to by other men, and it's great. The next one that I have is actually one that I have a physical copy of, and that is Inked in Lies by Gianna Darling. This is a age gap, friends to lovers romance, and also sort of brother's best friend. So Lila and Nova have known each other since they were really little. Lila's parents get killed, and she ends up actually living with Nova's family, who lived next door to them when she was younger. So Lila and her brother move in with Nova and his family. He is like quite a bit older than her, and she has always loved him. And she's younger than him, so he didn't. And it got to a point once they're older where he still wouldn't be with her because he was like, little sister vibes, and you're my best friend's younger sister, and you're too young for me, and I'm not for you, kind of thing. Because as he got older, Nova got more dark, and he joined the motorcycle club. This is a Fallen Men motorcycle club romance. So he doesn't think that he should be with Lila, but Lila still loves him after all this time. And this one gave me Touch Her and Die vibes, because even though Nova says he doesn't want to be with her, he doesn't want her to be with anyone else. So even when she, because he knows that she likes him, but even when she is like, fine, I'm gonna go be with somebody else, he's like, nah. So he doesn't want her to have anyone else, but he doesn't want to be with her at the time. So it's difficult for Lila. She gets really frustrated, and he is definitely a, she's mine, even though he doesn't actually like claim her, like to her. He claims her with all other men. He's like, no, you can't go near her. Don't touch her. Don't talk to her. She's mine. She just isn't. So totally would recommend this one. So good. Absolutely love this book. Then the next one is actually a contemporary romance, and that is the Reed Rivers trilogy by Lauren Rowe. Reed Rivers is a very powerful music executive. He runs River Records, and he is talked about as being somebody who has a Midas touch when it comes to business. Every artist that he signs to his label becomes a big star. Every business venture that he delves into becomes extremely successful. And he has a big ego because of that. He's like, no, he knows that he's good at things. And he ends up speaking at a college, music school kind of thing, and Georgie, I don't know, Georgie, she goes and attends this speech, but not to see him, to see somebody else. She actually doesn't know who he is at first. And after this speech, where they are like making eyes at each other during the speech, after that, he goes out with his friends to a bar, and she ends up being the bartender, and they end up going back to his place, and they don't end up having sex because they basically get into a fight, and they get into an argument, and Reed is very used to people doing what he says, and Georgie doesn't do what he says. She's a very sassy, very outspoken, loud, don't tell me what to do kind of person, and Reed is so intrigued by this, and he makes it like full life mission to go after her. And so he sneakily gets her, without her knowing, gets her a job, which puts him, her and him together, like in a like forced proximity type situation. And she is supposed to be interviewing some of his like artists from his label, and he knows that one of the people that she wants to interview will hit on her, and he like completely cuts the interview. He's like, absolutely not, you're not interviewing him, because he doesn't want her to be alone with him. He's like, absolutely not. And he basically goes and like threatens that guy and is like, if you go and interview her, if you invite her back to your hotel room and all this, I will ruin you. I will ruin your career. I made your career, and I can destroy your career just as easily as I made your career. So it's very much alpha, possessive, do not touch her or I will ruin you. Love Reed so much. Then the next one that I have is the Phoenix Pack series by Suzanne Wright. Honestly, any one of these books could have this trope, but the one that I'm going to talk about is actually the first one in the series, and that is Feral Sins. And this is a werewolf, fated mates romance. And the reason why I'm choosing this one over all the others in the series is because the hero in this book, whose name I can't remember, is known for going rogue. He has a huge temper, and he's got some trauma in his background, and because of that, whenever he shifts into his wolf or whenever he gets into a fight or anything, he loses his mind a little bit. He loses his ability to connect with his human side and make rational decisions, and he very much lets his wolf take over. Animal instincts, he will do anything. He's very violent, and he will kill you if you get in his way. And so when he meets the heroine, they do a sort of like fake dating type situation where they pretend to be mates in order to get her out of a forced mating with somebody else that she doesn't like. And he wants an alliance with her father, so they pretend to be fated mates. And he becomes extremely protective of her. His wolf connects with her. And so because he already has that animalistic, violent urges, they transfer to her, and if anyone goes near her, if anyone threatens her, if anyone comes against her, those animal instincts, those animalistic urges fully take over, and he will rip that person to shreds. And it is 100% not even touch her and not even touch her and die vibes. It is 100% touch her and die, and it is so good. It's so good. Okay, then the last one that I'm going to talk about is The Quarry Master by Amanda Milo. This is actually a alien romance, and it is a Grumpy Sunshine workplace alien romance. So in this world, on this planet, human women live on this planet by choice. Like, they were originally taken from their homes a long time ago, but when they were asked if they wanted to return back to Earth, they said no, and they now live there by choice. A lot of the human women are mating and falling in love with the different species of alien that live on the planet, and so the aliens decide, we are going to do our best to make the humans feel comfortable, and so they are trying to build houses and a housing complex where the humans can live, and the humans who have mated can also live there too. So it's like, we'll have all the human amenities that they are used to, kind of thing. And so the workplace that they live in is they live in the workplace that they are working in is that they are working in the quarry, and they are collecting rocks basically to build these houses for the human women. And the hero in this story is the quarry master. So he is basically the boss. He's in charge, and he doesn't really know how to talk to humans. And he is the epitome of grumpy in a Grumpy Sunshine. He is not good at being happy. He is 100% like he's a hardcore boss. And he doesn't want to give them. He's like, why are you taking breaks? Why are you not working? You better be on time. You better work until the last possible minute. And the heroine is very sunshiny. She's very happy. She loves working. She is having a great time. And he tries to be snarky and grumpy towards her, and she just stays sunshiny. And he gets kind of frustrated by this, and he's like, why is she nice to me? I'm so mean to her. And so it becomes like he becomes super like attentive towards her or noticing her and spending more time with her because he's like drawn to her by how she's nice to him, even though he's grumpy towards her. And so he ends up falling in love with her and becoming incredibly protective of her. And he does not want her to continue working once they fall in love. He's like, absolutely not. You are not going to go there and stand around unmated males. And even the ones that are mated, he's like, nuh-uh, you're not going near them without me. And he very much gives off touch her and die vibes once they get together. And even before they get together, before he even like realizes that he fully likes her, but everyone else knows that he likes her, he gives off touch her and die vibes. It's so good, and I would 100% recommend it. Even if you don't like alien romances, if you're just like a Grumpy Sunshine, if you like that trope, I would try that one. But that's it. That's all the ones that I have to talk about. I could do multiple parts of this video because this is one of my favorite tropes. But that's it. So please like this video if you liked it. Let me know down below what your favorite book with this trope is. And subscribe so you can see me in my next video. Bye!